Yes, Eric, I had spoken to you about it. This was almost a year ago. You were screening calls for the atheist experience.
Really?
Yeah, and we had a really nice conversation, even though I couldn't get on. Yeah, man, I had initially called today about wanting to discuss what did I call it, the inherent dishonesty of presuppositional apologetics.
I think I've screened one of your calls as well, Benji, actually.
You might have. Yeah. I'm not really sure, Jamie.
Oh, no, it's fine.
But,
you don't remember my memory?
So the dishonesty of a presuppositional
apologist.
Do you have any in particular that drive you nuts, or is there anything specific that you kind of want to like?
Do you have any in particular that don't drive you nuts? Is it?
Oh, man, there isn't one that doesn't drive me nuts. I mean, from my background, it's just I grew up deeply involved in it. My dad's a preacher, and not just that, but he's a Hyper-Calvinist and a bible-literalist.
Ooh, like 6,000-year-old Earth bible-literalist?
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
I've always wondered, is it exactly 6,000, or is it like 6,002?
Between 6 and 15,000. Just depends on who you talk to.
Oh, that's not a margin of error.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even still, absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
But, growing up, I always had doubts, and then I got all the whole route with, like, Paul saying, we all have doubts, I have doubts, and that wasn't very reassuring to me. I was like, well, if even Paul had doubts, maybe this is bullshit. But
well, and
maybe
it's funny because Paul said that he had doubts. Yeah, but if you go back into it, he wasn't always Paul. He was Saul of Tarsus. And he persecutes Christians in the Bible until the road to Damascus, where he has scales put over his eyes, becomes blind, and directly interacts with God.
I think you mean until the road to Damascus, when he suffers an epileptic fit.
His magical awakening.
And then he becomes Paul. And so the funny thing about it is that everybody has doubts. Even I have doubts. That's okay. Bullshit! You were directly direct intervention by your deity. And that's what it took to convince you. So,
you say direct intervention by his deity. I know what you mean. From his perspective, he thinks that's,
I don't find very much historical evidence and I have not been able to find a lot of historical evidence to prop up a ton of the claims that are in the Bible.
Yeah.
That said, if I'm interacting with somebody who believes the Bible literally and that kind of thing, then I am going to bring that up because... Did God love doubting Thomas more than he loves you and I? Is that why Jesus let him, finger his holes? Like, is that...
have faith. Finger his holes.
I was waiting for it. So...
It's my job to make the jokes with innuendo. What's happening
here?
Do you usually deal with?
Yeah.
I mean, are you just watching them, or do you go out and you...
Oh, man, growing up, I always had to listen to stuff like Ravi Zacharias and James Dobson, and then I think the best preacher I ever heard was Adrian Rogers, but that guy was kind of a rarity.
To hear a preacher, or to hear a skillful?
What's that?
What was a rarity? Sorry, I think I may have.
Adrian Rogers was a rarity. He was incredibly well educated, but he could bring it down to a very simple level without speaking down to you.
If only he'd learned something real.
Say what now?
I said, if only he'd learned something real. But
I know. It was really a shame. I feel like he was really just a waste of great mind hearing him speak. And my dad was the same way. He could grasp concepts very well, but he was so steeped so deeply in it and just completely blinded in anything else that he doesn't know anything really about anything else. And
isn't there something that's like talking in the Bible? Wow, this is the first time I'm going to make a reference to the Bible where I have no idea what the original language is. That's like, oh, it's super great to be a child and not know anything. That's a sign of being blessed. There's some passage like that where it's like,
1 Corinthians
Don't
13.
learn.
Specifically.
I believe. Hang on. I'm remembering now. I think it's 1
self-aligned.
Corinthians
13:11.
1 Corinthians 13:11.
That sounds like something
Just remembered that
would
on
have
my
been
own.
written by Paul because he was fucking awful.
It was.
And
Yeah.
When
He invented Christianity. So
when I
I'm
was
not
a child, I played
Yeah,
as a
exactly,
child.
exactly.
I reasoned as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I think
Wouldn't that work
basically
against his faith?
Paul contradicted himself fairly frequently,
No.
and so you know.
So what precept involving that have you bumped up against? Because we probably have as well. I'd
Man.
love to kind of share a war story.
Yeah.
Oh God, I think what really made me start
Stories from the War on
like,
Christmas.
really closely was actually watching this show, and Matt Slick called in under a different name.
God. Yeah.
This show or AX?
Yeah, he called in. It was.
Do you really think that?
Wait, did he called Talk Heathen?
Yes, yeah, I remember it was his.
Evolution fails.
Distinct voice. Yes.
Do you really think it was Matt Slick?
That was Matt Slick.
Oh, what a
for
fuck
sure.
nut.
I remember
All right.
the voice.
He could have called in with his actual name. That would have been great.
Yeah.
Hey Matt,
Yeah,
call
but,
back.
You know, he
Don't mind that I just called you a fuck nut.
He claims to be.
1 Peter 3:15. Call our show. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
any of those guys that give pseudonyms like that,
Yeah.
I'm just.
well, but you know what's funny is when he called in, that spurred me to do a ton of research
Yeah.
because
Got
I wanted to know.
really
I
pissed
really,
off
really
during
wanted.
that call. That was.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
That's
I got
not. I'm
real
not
pissed.
shaming you. I was feeling guilty for being amused by your anger. That's what.
No,
that's
no.
what that was.
Yeah.
Usually I have to
So
troll
with-
you for you to get angry.
Yeah, with people like that, the argument that he gave that I remember is you can't have logic unless you base your logic in a source of absolute truth.
Jesus.
Oh, I know.
God, ollie ollie oxen free, I can totally do it now because I said so, I give myself special permission, and
Right.
bleh, right? So it's this ridiculous thing. And so actually, you know, while I've got you on the line, Benji, I'm just going to give a quick shout to last week because I mentioned that there was a cartoon that I saw that was really, really old. I've been looking for it for months, and within a day, people emailed in and gave me the cartoon, and I fucking love it. You guys are amazing. So
What
maybe you
cartoon?
can help me with this. It's people putting their cars on trial. For the things that the people who are in the cars were doing.
Ah, yeah,
1950s
people.
cartoon.
And
And-
people don't kill people, guns kill people.
No, it was more a Ghost in the Machine, trying to find, you know, and talk about what the world would look like if there was a, you know, substance duality, if there was a mind separate from the body. And so it just illustrates what.
I'll just let you show me the cartoon
Yeah, that's
after the
fine.
thing. Okay.
But anyway, what I'm saying is I actually am wanting to write a book. It's not a big one, but it is very, very unique, and it's going to need a binder, and I have no idea where to go. If anybody who's watching has that skill set, I'd actually like to write my own precept apologetics book.
You mean your counter presup apologetics? Or
Well, no,
your
I
presup apologetics?
want to write Eric's holy book.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
You told me about this.
If
yeah.
anybody has that skill set, please send us an email. And actually, while we're doing that, before we move on, Benji, because I do want to talk to you some more, but I do want to throw out our info.
Okay.
You can email us, everybody, mail@talkheathen.com. Right now, we have 2 lines open. If you know somebody who is a theist, we have atheists on the line. We'd love to talk to some religious folks. So if you are, or you know somebody, now's the time. We've got lines for you. Mail at Talk Heathen. You can call us 1-512-686-0279. Facebook, Talk Heathen. Instagram, Jamie.
Jamie the Heathen.
Twitter.
Reason underscore evidence, as in the sentence, reason underscored by evidence.
You can find me on Instagram
Eric the Heathen.
and Twitter at Dirty Heathen.
Yeah. Oh, you thought I was going to do the Twitter as well?
Nah, it's good.
Yeah. You can do your own work, man.
That's fine.
You have to say
Okay.
words on your own.
So, Benji,
yeah.
what's another, before we move on, because I'm actually really enjoying talking to you.
Yeah, that's good.
What other
Well, I'm
precept?
enjoying this too. So.
What other precept arguments kind of drive you nuts? Well, actually, you know what?
Well-
Have we defined what a presuppositional
Yeah, for the
apologist is?
we should cover that for
Absolutely.
Okay.
They're your
Can I
specialist
condense it
subject.
down to one statement.
Getting
Got it. Okay.
Eric gets super
So-
horny for presuppositionalist
I
apologetics,
really
so
do.
he should do it.
So,
Okay, so- A normal debate with a presuppositional apologist starts with assume I'm right.
Yep. Basically, it's you're presupposing the answer in your apologetic. So an apologetic is something that a religious person will offer as a proof for the existence of God. A presuppositional apologetic says, I have a special something that I'm bringing in. And usually what it does is it cuts off the conversation before the conversation can ever happen. It's giving yourself special permission, or it's giving your God special permission. And because of it, there's really no point in having those conversations. It's fun up until it's frustrating. But I would like having those conversations, especially on air, because I want people to see why it's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're familiar with the problem of hard solipsism, the presuppositional apologetics that famous presuppositional apologists use tend to be like, aha, the problem of hard solipsism, I've solved it. I can't tell you how because Jesus told me. I know that, and then list of things that I know that are true because Jesus is effectively the argument. There's something to be said for a lot of Christian apologetics assume the answer and then go from there. It's just that presuppositional apologetics outright says it. It's like, yeah, no, we're assuming the answer, and we're right to do so. Why? Jesus. Which is...
it's all rooted in special pleading, and then it's inductive reasoning from there. And
well,
I mean, to be clear, if Jesus, then anything you want, so...
Yeah.
Exactly. And anything can be justified through faith.
And inductive versus deductive reasoning and how we move from one thing to the next is a really interesting topic. It's a rabbit hole that I went down. It's actually something that I'm working on preparing to be able to give talks on. So stay tuned for that if you want me to give talks.
Okay.
But that wouldn't be on Talk
Are you
Heathen.
trying to beat me to... You want to be the first one from Talk Heathen to give a talk? Although that Talk Heathen to give
all
a
right,
talk.
now it's fucking up. All right.
Heathen. Now it's
Get
a race.
me out to
all
your
right.
university or your skeptic group. Let's do this.
Who do you want more? You have to choose one. If they could do both.
Benji, thank you for calling in.
Thank you
for
really calling. Sorry we talked over you. We didn't even ask you about where you live. I mean, what is heaven like? Apparently there's different regions of it. You live in South Heaven.
No, I live in Southaven.
Ah, dyslexia strikes again.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, you have a good one.
Heaven is not. Yeah,
and keep in touch. This is a good call.
Definitely.
Send emails to Eric.
I'm the one who answers
definitely.
the emails. If you send a message to mail@talkheathen.com, it comes to
99%
me. You ready for
he'll
this?
answer it. Yeah.
No, I actually am caught up. I'm fully fucking caught up on emails. If you sent an email and I have not responded, check your spam folder.
You are the anomaly.
Or message and say, because it might have gotten auto-archived, but to the best of my knowledge, we are caught up.
Or you're
to
just
everybody
wrong.
who has ever emailed us, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
Benji?
When I said 99%, I meant because occasionally I've answered emails as well. Just very infrequently. Particularly now that never mind. And Benji, I hope you have a good Sunday.
You take care, brother.
You too, guys.
All right.
All right.
Go without God.
Vía sin Dios.
Vía sin Dios.
Hasta luego, amigo.